Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. I am going to do a couple of recipes. One of them is an old favorite. It's Southern baked mac and cheese that I've been making for 35 years. It's a family recipe that I have tweaked quite a bit, so I'm not following a recipe, but I'll tell you how much I'm putting in as I'm doing it. I'm also going to make a baked caprese dip, which is really outstanding. But anyway, I did do a grocery haul today. I went to a doctor appointment, and there's a Wegmans. Hopefully my dogs will be quiet while I do this. But anyway, I got some organic ground beef. I've been hungry for some grilled hamburgers. This is 80/20 organic. This is some frozen lobster claw, some bubbly seltzer water, ginger tea. I got some organic romaine. I got some of this nut almond butter that I like to put into my smoothies. This is sunflower seeds. I put that on my cottage cheese. This right here is something I've never tried before, but I thought I'd be good on a hamburger before I grill it. I've got some organic grape tomatoes for the caprese dip, 2 sweet onions, a shallot for the hamburger. I'm gonna try just stuffing some jalapenos. I've never done that before. I have one in the refrigerator, so I'll have these, and so that'll be 8 halves, and give that a try as well. They had these jumbo blueberries. They also had these organic raspberries that I put in smoothies. This is organic butter lettuce that I thought would be really good on hamburgers, and watermelon because I was hungry for it, butternut squash just because I love it. I usually just add cinnamon, butter, and eat it just like that. Picked up some yogurt. Here's some organic cottage cheese, some whole fresh mozzarella for the caprese dip. This is individual 3-bean salads that I like to put on my cottage cheese as well. It makes for a nice little snack or lunch even sometimes. I did get a fresh bouquet of flowers. I normally do that once a week. That bunch was $14 just to keep life beautiful. Some Nebbiolo Sauvignon Blanc, which I will drink, and I will also put that in the caprese dip. What else do I have? Sharp cheddar cheese for some homemade baked mac and cheese, some mozzarella for the caprese dip. I picked up a small loaf of rosemary olive oil bread to dip in the caprese dip. Picked up some protein bars for a snack. And then I got some of this gluten-free pizza crust mix that I've heard good things about. My doctor today said try to cut back a little on gluten and processed foods, not to go crazy with it. I'm not a celiac, I don't have celiac disease. I do have thyroid disease. But I've had a lot of joint problems in the last 2 years, so she suggested try to do as much anti-inflammatory as possible. So that's it. was trying to just speed this up a little bit to try to get through this produce washing, and just wanted to do it all at once and let it dry so I could work with it on the next day when I'm ready. So I just am using the Thieves Produce Wash in my sink with the sprayer on, and these little strainers are great for washing the berries and draining them, and then just lay them out on a towel until they're dried, or I'll use a tea towel and dry them if I'm in a hurry. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this part of it. I'm getting ready to show you this sink. It doesn't really show up too well on YouTube, but there's just a lot of sediment and dirt on the bottom. I'm making some mac and cheese. It's another day. Got some water on the stove, salted it, getting ready to throw in some pasta for one step of our mac and cheese process. Okay, I'm getting ready to start the mac and cheese. The ingredients are half of an onion chopped up. I dice it. This I'm going to use about a quarter of a stick of butter. I like Kerrygold butter. And it's going to be about a spoonful of sour cream. This is the rosemary olive oil toast that I'm going to, or bread that I'm going to toast. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Not with this one. And then a pound of shredded cheddar, which you can, of course, it is a little bit better if you do buy the sharp cheddar and shred it yourself, but I'm taking shortcuts today. I've got 2 eggs. I have 4 cloves of garlic that I've minced up, and then some cream. And I do have water boiling on the stove for the pasta. I like to use Muellers Ruffles for this recipe. I've got the oven preheating to 350. Normally I make a 9 by 13 pan, but I'm only having that today. I am living by myself. I'm recently divorced, so I'm cutting the recipe in half, and I'm still going to be giving some of it away today. And of course, salt and pepper for this recipe. And then I've salted the water that's boiling. I just threw in some kosher salt. So I've sauteed onion and garlic in a little bit of olive oil and butter, and added that to my big pot along with some strained pasta, and I'm mixing in the cheese just a little bit at a time. I also added 2 eggs that were beaten, and some butter and a spoonful of sour cream into this mixture. And I'm just slowly trying to mix it all together. It takes a little while, and it can get heavy. And again, this is half of the recipe. If I use a full 9 by 13 pan, this would be twice as much of a mixture.
I don't know how you do it. You blow my mind without a word. Ooh, stuck upside down. I might be dreaming. There's no way back now. Take every inch of my body. Wanna dance with you all night long. Dive in, babe, you know we is. Come on and show me what you got. 'Cause I don't care if they think we're meant to be falling in love with you. I'll do it again and again and again and again.
And I'm just adding a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, giving it one last stir. And I'm going to transfer it into a sprayed Pyrex pan and get it ready to put in the oven.
Like astronauts, we're in the night sky and we won't come down.
I'm going to pour over some cream. You can use whatever type of milk you want. I had some heavy cream on hand. That gets it creamy and keep it a little moist. And then I'm adding some more black pepper, on top. And here it is, the finished. So it's another day. I am going to make this baked caprese dip. I started out by taking a clove of garlic, cut it in half, and rub it onto my cast iron pan. And then that kind of takes a little bit of time. Just get all the edges and up along the sides where it's going to be baking. And then I'm going to take some cherry tomatoes, about a cup of cherry tomatoes, and chop them up, or actually cut them in half, and I'll be making a little marinade to put them in while the actual cheese dish is baking. My dogs are hanging out in the kitchen with me. They always do when I start cooking. I have two little dogs, Zuzu Bailey and Jackie O. They're 6 and 3 years old. So while I'm chopping these little cherry tomatoes in half, I'm going to be adding a little bit of olive oil to them, some balsamic vinegar, about a tablespoon, and let them sit in the refrigerator for a bit while I continue to work on the rest of the cheese mixture. Just sort of adds a little bit of good flavoring. When you put them in the fridge, they can continue to get some added flavor to them. Battery died, so what I did was add 3 cups of shredded mozzarella in a bowl and 1/3 cup of mascarpone cheese. You can do cheddar cheese if you have that on hand. Just add it into give it a good stir, and then with the cast iron skillet I have 1/4 cup of white wine and a little bit of olive oil. I brought that to a bubble and then started adding the cheeses, and it takes a little while for the cheeses to get melty and mixed up together to get ready to put in the oven.
cheese mixture went in a 400-degree oven for about 10 minutes. I then pulled it out, added the chopped up marinated cherry tomatoes on top, put it back in the oven for a good 15 minutes on 400, and you can see it's done, it's bubbling, and I'm just going to let it set for a little while. It's set for about 10 minutes or so. And then I'm just going to put on some red pepper flakes just to taste. And I actually add a lot. I like a little bit of kick to my food. And I'm going to then put on some basil. I normally use the fresh basil that you cut up yourself. My grocery store didn't have it this time. They didn't have a lot of things, so I did find this already chopped up basil in the produce department, and I used it for one other dish this week, and it's pretty darn good, and it certainly is convenient. And again, I do like that basil taste, so I'm being pretty generous with it on this dish. And then I've got some balsamic glaze that I got at Trader Joe's. So I'm just going to put a good drizzle on top of that, and then let the whole mixture sit for another 20 minutes or so, and it will be ready to eat. You can eat it with crackers, focaccia bread. I seem to have, what did I have? I had this rosemary olive oil loaf. So I toasted it and put it on there, and it is delish. This is my dog, Jackie O. She wanted to get in on the action. She's just hanging around, of course, in the kitchen while I'm cooking. And I hope you enjoyed the video.